Good morning. Good. Let me first apologize for our late start. We were supposed to start at 9, but we had some challenges. We also have an issue with the air condition, which broke down late yesterday evening. So bear with us. We will try our best to take the program through quickly. So let me start by acknowledging our head table team. We have Mr. Shedron Collins, General Manager, Youth Business Trinidad and Tobago. We also have Mr. Shivan Ramnath, Chief Executive Officer of Agricultural Development Bank, on my extreme right. To Mr. Ramnath's left, we have Mr. Frank Ali, who is President of the Bonaire Farmers Association, and also the ASCT Director, Agri Development. And to my immediate right, last but not least, we have Mr. Michael Paris, has some nice cocoa products. He's our guest speaker. He's founder and director, Solar Green Technologies Agro-Processing. So a warm welcome to the schools in our midst. We have Asha Girls Barakpur and students from Karpi Chaima Secondary. So welcome yourselves, give yourselves a round of applause. We wish you all to be light, not to be stiff, because this will be a very engaging morning. Though we started late, we want to keep things alive and kicking. And today, our symposium, Empowering Youths Through Agri-Entrepreneurship. Let me ask which one of you would volunteer to do a prayer before we start. If you don't volunteer, I'll pick one. And whoever I pick must... Who is going to volunteer? So... short prayer and we start. And we have Liza back. You have to be light and brave. So we need to shake up. Right. Right. Go ahead and say morning to everybody and just if you see our Father prayer or something. Okay, let me ask someone else to come. Time is going. Time is... Yeah. You could sit right here. No, stand right here. Turn around. You never see one is anything. Go ahead. Say a prayer. What prayer? Our Father, anything. I don't know. It's good. Now come in. Let's just thank God for being here.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I don't like how this song is. I don't.
You will stop laughing at him.
Yeah, something not funny.
Go ahead. You focus and go ahead. Time is
Yeah.
going.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily prayer, as we forgive our trespasses. As we forgive those who trespass against us, and deliver us from evil. And thy the kingdom and the power of God, forever and ever. Amen.
Great, thank you. So moving along, let me welcome to the podium YBT's General Manager, Shedron Collins, to welcome you.
All right, morning, morning, morning. All right, morning, morning, morning. All right. I have 5 minutes on this card here. So, all right. So, my name is Shadron Collins. I'm from Youth Business Trinidad and Tobago. Which schools we have represented here? So, when I point, just shout the name of your school, right? Okay. Let me give you a count of 3, 2, 1. All right, Asha Girls. I heard our schools there. Asha Girls. All right. So, in front here, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. And in the back? Let me get a count of again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it came from far. All right, so I came from Point, so well, it was right there. All right, so I'm here to do two things. Tell you a little bit about YBTT as well as tell you a little bit about Global Entrepreneurship Week. So who knows about YBTT? Anybody? Always the silence, Sandrine. Right, the best kept secret. So our focus is really supporting persons and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs between the ages of 18 and 35 getting into business or expanding their business. I know Michael have been one of the persons we have supported recently. Well, Michael probably in about 5 different support organizations now. Right, I mean, that's the true mark of the entrepreneurs that we deal with in Trinidad and Tobago. All of them are the same entrepreneurs being supported by the different organizations because one organization really can't support an entire entrepreneur. So I think you'll have got support from ADB as well, Business Booster. Right, so this is really what we try to do at YBTT, build entrepreneurs and build that ecosystem where we connect with different organizations. So this is really a joint event held between Youth Business Trinidad and Tobago and the Agricultural Development Bank. Now, Global Entrepreneurship Week. Global Entrepreneurship Week is celebrated officially next week, the 14th to the 20th of November. And really it focuses on helping and well celebrating entrepreneurship and celebrating entrepreneurs, and it's really well, it's a month pack of events. We have 20 events this GW session, and this is really the third event that we're having right now. Yeah, third. Right. So, with that being said, our focus for GW this year is really on diversification, and we focus on diversification of the economy as well as where we see development for entrepreneurship is going. So we actually have agriculture, we are focusing on agriculture today. Next week, I think we're focusing on the creative industries, and the week following that, we're focusing on the tourism industry. And we also have our youth symposium. Our technology symposium was on Tuesday. So when you hear agriculture, anybody here ever, well, family owns agriculture business or is a farmer themselves? Anyone? All right, so World Food Day was back in 16th of October this year. The theme was climate has changed, food and agriculture must change. And we can see we're feeling the effect of the sun right now. Right? We have higher climates and higher temperatures. And it's really about changing our agriculture sector. And this is really what the focus really has to be for going forward. How could we develop and change our agriculture sector into really an economic stronghold for Trinidad and Tobago? When we look at the public sector, really 4% of the budget, it needs to be increased in terms of where the focus really has to go towards our agriculture sector. So I'll keep it short. I only had 5 minutes. So I'll pass you back on to Sandrine, right, and she will give you from someday. So if you're a young person, almost 18, and you're looking at getting support from Youth Business Trinidad and Tobago, come out and check us out. We're located in Shogunas, and you can check us out on Facebook as well. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shadron. Our next speaker is Mr. Frank Ali. He's going to motivate you a bit in terms of the potential that exists within the agricultural sector. Mr. Ali is the president of the Bonaire Farmers Association, and he's also the ASCT director Agri-Youth Development. The theme of his presentation is Agri Dollars and Cents. Dollars and SCNSE cents, like common sense. You can bridge the gaps. Let me just tell you a bit about Mr. Ali in terms of who he is. Mr. Frank Ali is the president of the Bonnet Farmers Association and holds the position of director of the Agricultural Society of Trinidad and Tobago with responsibility for vegetable production and developing youth in Trinidad and Tobago. He's a proud third-generation farmer operating his full-time crop production and marketing project. He is a long-standing ADB Alliance partner and a valued customer. Mr. Ali is a passionate advocate for the agribusiness community and youth. Possessed of a collaborative spirit, he is a great mobilizer of resources, actively assisting primary schools and fellow farmers with the important work of contributing to Trinidad and Tobago's food production and, by extension, the national goal of food security, which is very important in Trinidad and Tobago. He is well-traveled and has gained a wealth of insights into the potential agricultural entrepreneurship holds for the next generation to come, which is you. And let me just remind you all, the teachers would have shared with you that we have a presentation from each of you looking at how is Trinidad and Tobago going to feed itself in 2025, by which time all of you will be around 2021. So I'll talk to teachers again, but that is a presentation. We have some outstanding prizes, so that is a segment that you all should be looking forward to. So help me in welcoming Mr. Frank Ali to the podium.
Right. Good morning, one and all. Right. With an introduction like that, I think that is an introduction I want to keep and take with me wherever I go to make any presentations. Right, nice. Let me give you a little more about what I do at the ASTT. One of the things I do is work with at-risk youths. Not too long ago, CNC3 did a special with some young men from Windy Hill, who had, some of them had been incarcerated, some of them unemployed, and they come from what is called a hotspot area. And what I would have done is get the assistance from two organizations to help the young men up there. And one of the reasons I am here is because ADB was one of the organizations that were willing to help these young men. I would like to give you a little more insight as to agriculture in Trinidad. I am a farmer, as they said, a full-time farmer. We are faced with many challenges. Agriculture in Trinidad is not a bed of roses, but in any field that you go, you are met with challenges. One of the things about the ASTT and the organization I represent, we go around and we help young people and farmers. We have people that specialize in all different areas, whether it be poultry, bees, vegetable production. Something big now is export, and we are currently now focusing on 3 products basically for export. Anybody in this room could guess what is one of the things we're focusing on for export? I heard somebody say it correct. Hot peppers. We have one of the best flavored hot peppers in the world. The hot peppers that actually go to Miami is one of the best. It is preferred. The problem is the cost competing with the Dominican Republic. We are also focusing on other crops like pawpaw and pumpkin. Another thing that we focus on, because I go to farmers groups, as a matter of fact, I came back 11 o'clock last night from a farmers meeting. We try to help educate the farmers as well as the young people. One of the things we try to do is we look at import substitution. We do not like the idea of 500 farmers all growing lettuce together at the same time. If you look at the shelves when you go into the grocery, you'll realize there are all different colors of lettuce in all different kind of packages. So we try to educate the farmers. We try to show them that, well, myself, for example, I grow what you will refer to as artisan lettuce, which are different varieties, different colors. And they grow very well in Trinidad, open field. And we are currently doing them, and very soon they will be in some of the supermarkets here. So what we try to do is train the farmers, teach the farmers, right? And one of the main reasons I came today, because I had a very late night last night, is because of the opportunity to talk to young people. And I told they were all agribusiness students or agri students, right? Most? On that side. And these students here? Agri. Form 4s? 4s, all right. 5. I see some men, that is 6, right? Nice. Any of you uncle, aunts, cousin in agriculture? How many of you been out to a farmer's field? Two. How much I have on this side? Oh, we have a couple in the back. Right. How was the experience? Did you like what you saw? I'm not hearing you. This is a very quiet bunch of students, boy. What I would like to ask you all is, why did you all, I want to get to figure out the people that I'm speaking to. What is one of the reasons, if anybody, I want one person from each school to answer this for me. What was the reason for you all choosing agriculture? I want one person from each school to just tell me why you choose agriculture. Because here the reason I ask that. The average age of the farmer in Trinidad is over 60. Over 60. We need to find more young people and encourage them to get into agriculture. And in a while I'm going to tell you why you should get into agriculture. So I would like to start with which school willing to start to tell me, like, I want you to tell me, like, why you wanted to do agribusiness. Anybody willing to start, because my time will run short. Nice. I have a volunteer. Wonderful. Thank you for being brave and speaking your mind. I would like to have somebody else. I want each school represented. Come on from this. I want somebody from right here. Just why you would have done it. You just have to say, like, why you would have signed up to do agricultural science. Why you're doing it. Especially, well, one of these young men who in 6th form have to definitely, I'm not asking the form 4s and the 5s. So let me hear from one of you. Anything, feel free to listen. Just say why you would have gotten involved in agriculture. Or chose that field.
Basically, because of the country right now is declining in the aspects of the money and stuff like that, and I see agriculture as a way in bringing back our funds and increasing our treasury in the way of exporting, and I guess the same way we create new breeds or different types of fruits and stuff like that, that could cause more of a income for the country.
And you said export. The gentleman here will tell you more about the cocoa that we have in Trinidad. Could I hear somebody from the back now? Anyone?
Good morning. Well, I chose agriculture because in our area you barely see farmers or people selling like fruits and things. So while coming to this course or going to
Right.
school, in the process, well, the teachers or anyone will help us to, further the study and doing it. So it will have more farmers and things, like young farmers growing up, to be able to set an example for the younger ones that are coming up.
Very well. The reason I have asked, I want to know why, because a lot of people will get involved in agriculture because they sign up for the subject because. people with a passion, farmers are people who are very passionate. And we love what we do. One of the reasons I am here again is because of the opportunity to engage young people in talking about agriculture and talking about agriculture in Trinidad. We need to feed ourselves. The majority of food that you see on your grocery, in the shelves and the grocery is imported. And we have farmers here that could produce. Farmers are faced with basic challenges. Some farmers still can't get water. We still suffer from problems as poor roads. But we have seen some form of encouragement because agencies like the ADB now. I myself, if you visit my farm, the irrigation system, the machinery that is there, was loans taken out from the ADB. If you go to a couple farms in Bonaire, you will see people that have gone. I told the gentleman, the CEO, that farmers who had to take a wheelbarrow and push it for like about 15, 20, half a mile to go to a restaurant to pump water because of the intervention of the ADB. These men no longer have to go through that. I'm talking about farmers that are at the age of 50, 57. They don't have to do that because of the intervention of the ADB and the support of the ADB. That is why I am here supporting them and working with the young people. A little history about what I am trying to do. A couple of years ago, if you had gone to any KFC outlet in Trinidad and purchased a burger from them, and it had lettuce in it, it came from Bonaire. Anywhere in Trinidad, it came from Bonaire. I am GAP certified. Anybody can tell me what GAP is? Right. Nice. GAP certification is something done by NAMDEVCO. One of the things that we do with farmers, chemicals come in, I don't know if you all will know the classes, so I'll help you out. They come in 4 classes. What I do is focus on safe agriculture, growing things safe to eat, safe food. It's nice to say, but it's expensive to do. Because what will happen to our farmer, when we go to the shelves to purchase chemicals, fertilizers, you will realize the class 1 and class 2 is relatively cheap. The class 4 and the class 4s and the class 3s are the biological, they are more costly. They came to my farm, CNC3, on Money Talks, and they asked me a question. What did you think about the budget? I am not affiliated to any political party. And I said what I said as a farmer's representative and as a farmer. I heard our Minister of Finance said that the cost of production went down in 2016. And due to the cost of production going down, the public could look to a lower cost when they go to the market. So I wonder, when the public get vexed with me now, Frank, why are you still selling lettuce for $5 and $6? I thought we hear the cost of production. No. Cost of production actually continues to rise every day. When you go to the garden shop, sometimes they tell you when the next shipment comes, the price gone up. So we are faced with rising cost of production. You all know a little idea about business, right? If it costs you $3 to make something, you sell it for $5, you make $2. And if you continue selling it for $5 and the cost goes up now to $3.50, what's going to happen? How much are you making? Nice. You're going to $1.50 and it continues to happen like that. One of the things we need to focus on is, you all know that when you go to places like, our organization has engaged places like, let me not call the name. I don't want to call the name. When you all purchase from this, a sandwich outlet, a famous sandwich outlet, that when you all go to purchase, do you all know where the cucumbers and the sweet peppers and the cabbage and the lettuce come from? Avocado. Not from here. We have been knocking on the door, asking them to supply them. They come up with multiple excuses. They actually sent us back to the drawing board, telling us that we need to do different varieties. When we have lettuce down here that can be used, we import approximately approximately 3 to 4 containers, I believe, per month, and that is one organization. Millions of dollars. If you go to any of the 3 major importers and you stand in their yard and you take a look, you will see millions and millions of dollars living on the back of trucks. And if you take a drive down to the Mokoya market, you will see farmers scraping and fighting to make a dollar. Because the powers that be do not focus on the farmers. As long as we have oil, the focus will always be on the energy sector and not on the agriculture sector. We have suffered, farmers have suffered because of the wealth of oil. They talk agriculture, oil price drop, farmers get excited because now they're going to look at us. Now they're going to look at us, we're ready. We're waiting for years. We're still waiting. They're talking about agriculture. We have, I don't want to, let me not go down that road. People that saying they're doing things. People that meeting with you. They listen to you. And up to today, you're still waiting. Governments come, governments go. We're in the same position today. But you know what? Ask this gentleman next to me if he would leave agriculture. I doubt he will ever leave. I will never leave. Because I see the potential in agriculture and I enjoy growing safe and healthy food. I won an award in the entrepreneurial awards in I think it's 2009 or something like that. And not because of the size of my farm or what, you know what it is? Because of my focus was on the consumer. Making sure that the consumer got a safe, quality product. So what I want to try to let you all know that agriculture is big business in Trinidad. We have seen recently, or my organization has been engaged by a couple of these import companies looking now to buy local. Talking buy local. Now I want to ask you, when you say buy local, do you all, when you all go, when you have to choose between, I plant lettuce, so I use lettuce as an example. When you see the local head of lettuce here, and the romaine lettuce there, a nice bag for $30, a lot of them, you stand up and look. They will pick up the romaine lettuce in the bag for the $30 and leave the Trinidad lettuce for $5. We have farmers in Trinidad that can grow safe, quality food. But you know what? The consumer, have to appreciate your local farmers. You all have to encourage your local farmers. You all have to purchase the products grown by the local farmers. So when you all go home, I tell even the UE students, you come to the farms, you see the farms, and then you go and order Subway. You ever ask them where these things come from? When we do that, we encourage. You know who you're supporting? Now you're hungry, you're eating. But you know who you're supporting? You're supporting the foreign farmers and the importers. Somebody say, Frank, why you keep saying that? Importation is big business. You're mashing the wrong toes. Importation is billion-dollar business, boy. You think they're going to take farmers and farmers' organizations seriously? You are going to cut into somebody's bread. But you know what? We're not afraid of that. Because we represent farmers. I believe we have farmers, young and old. Some of you here might be farmers as well in the future, hopefully. Some of you hopefully will be farmers. And I want to let you know, it starts off by you simply doing something. When you buy, countries fighting for Guyana. Fighting for Guyana. Anything that's staying on the table. Why Guyana didn't get this? Why that one didn't get that? Five different countries called. I didn't hear Trinidad. I was sitting in the crowd. I looking for my PS. Where you? No way. No representation. CARICOM. The ASTT was there. Myself. And we are a statutory body. Where are the officials? They weren't vocal. Antigua. If you see how these people fighting for their country, why we didn't get this project? Why that banana project not by us? Coconut. Who are the budget? Some about rehabilitating cocoa. Coconut, 900 acres. We have a project that CTA funded. I believe it's $35,000 per country. Trinidad is one of those countries. They called 4 out of the 5 or 3 out of the 5 that have seedlings already established and growing. Trinidad was not called. I don't know if that was an oversight, but Trinidad was not called. That is why I say in Trinidad, the powers that be do not take agriculture seriously. So that is why I am here, because somebody in this crowd might be a future minister of food production. Somebody in this crowd might be a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Food Production. Or maybe the next prime minister. Who knows? You know what I want you to know and want you to take from this? Is that your farmers are here. We want you to listen to us. Do not stay in office. Do like what the ADB is doing now. The ADB is out in the field now. No longer the days that when you ask this, a manager, you have to go through all this red tape to go upstairs. And no. ADB is one of the organizations that has broken that red tape. They're out in the field. I'm talking about the managers out in the field. Hopefully one day, soon the CEO going to be out in the field with me too. Mr. CEO. I look at it. Right. So you see, they're out in the field and they're supporting us. They understand the importance of the farmers. So what I want you all to understand is that even though you might not be farmers, and you're doing your agriculture degree, most likely you might come to my farm when you're doing your studies, your papers in UE. Those of you who are supposed to be heading to UE very soon. I want you to know that when you do get into the ministry or even into the sector, always know how to relate to your farmers, how to earn the trust. When a farmer trusts you, it's not like when you say a farmer trusts you, he will listen to you. He will work with you. If you tell a farmer you're coming by him 6 o'clock in the morning, don't come 6:30. Reach by him for 6 o'clock. Because you see that bond between you and that farmer is something sacred. So even though you all might not be farmers, but you all will end up in what we call the sector, either as a service provider, an input supplier, or some other way. So all I want to say now, I don't know how my time is running. I think I could wrap up. Nice. All right. All I want to say is this. Continue to do your studies. Work very hard. Please, you all are doing agricultural science. I take agriculture very seriously. I would like you all to take your studies very seriously. I look forward to you all going on to UE and maybe into the Ministry of Food Production or into the sector. With that, I would like to say good afternoon and pass on to the moderator. Thank you very much.
You all could do better than that, man. No, I would have liked to have the fund that could go through the different communities in this country to talk about agriculture and how important it is as a sector that we need to pay more attention to. I think we would do better than we're doing. So let's give Mr. Ali another round of applause. And here we have another entrepreneur who is in the trenches, who will come and tell the story. Mr. Ali told the story. We're going to hear from Mr. Michael Paris. And Mr. Ali, you took Mr. Paris. Just a little situation, just Mr. Ramnath was here very early. We started late, so I said, you know, he's the CEO of ADB, and let me ask him to speak earlier, you know, because I know he has a busy schedule. And guess what? Mr. Ramnath, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the ADB, has decided to stay, and that is commitment. Let's give Mr. Ramnath a round of applause. So Mr. Michael Paris is the energy behind the natural food business, Sula. He's a well-traveled agri-food innovator and a firm believer in green approaches to doing business to reduce the company's carbon footprint. Not afraid to experiment, he relishes finding solutions to production challenges by recycling and repurposing materials, and has successfully used innovative business collaborations to grow his 4-year-old company. A believer in thinking outside of the box, Mr. Paris has benefited from the Sola's IDEAS 2 Innovation Grant for Research and Development, and his award-winning range of products can justly be described as ethical, check. Organic, check. Sustainable, check. And profitable, big, check. Money, check. CHEQUE. So let me welcome Mr. Paris. Help me welcome Mr. Paris to the podium.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, and it's good to be here. I think I'm going to switch some things around and try a different approach. So I'm just going to get something from the back. So we're talking about agriculture, and Mr. Ali spoke about the average age of our farmers now, and that's over 50, almost 60 years. So we have a lot of old people in agriculture, and a lot of young people staying away from agriculture. Anybody could give me a reason why? Say it. Say it. Yeah, you're saying it right. Say it for everybody to hear.
Some people saying that agriculture is for low class people, but it's not.
So we have hard work. The impression is for low class people. Any other ideas, suggestions? Why are the young people moving away from agriculture? Yeah.
Many jobs in agriculture.
Not too many jobs in
Jobs,
agriculture. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Something? Another one?
Because everybody wants to be doctors and lawyers. Because everybody wants to be doctors and lawyers. And
Everybody want to be doctors and lawyers. Why? Maybe what? Paper, the income. I'll take one more after you.
Because everybody seems to think that the only way to make money is to work in the oil and gas sector, and that farming is not really making any money because everything is being imported.
We talk about money here. Any more? One more? One more reason? Yeah.
Everybody was say all the sun when you were working office job and AC and thing.
I like that. It's funny because that answer, I think, is true. I mean, everybody wants to stay out the sun. A lot of people want to stay out the sun. My business is about being in the sun. I use sunlight, solar energy, to change agricultural produce from one form to the next. As simple as that, without adding anything to it. So, for example, we have a bunch of Hana bananas. Anybody could tell me the price of a pound of bananas, roughly? How much? $5 to $6. $7, yeah. $5 to $6, $7. Interesting thing, I think about over 90% of the bananas we eat in Trinidad is imported. These yellow, pretty looking bananas you would see on the market stalls in them, they're not from here. They're from Suriname, Dominican Republic, and we get some from some other Caribbean islands like Dominica. We used to get a lot more from them, Grenada, but we had to do. Most of it come from Suriname, Dominican Republic. I could take this, say this is about instead of getting $5 to $6 a pound, now that is retail, so the farmer is not really getting that. The farmer is more likely getting $2 to $3 a pound for a pound of bananas. So a farmer could take a pound of bananas, put it in the sun where people don't want to be, and change it into a product like this, which is called sun-dried bananas, because that is what it is. And this sun-dried bananas can sell for, guess how much a pound? How much? 20 something? Higher. How much? $40 a pound? Higher. $60 a pound? Higher. $70 a pound for sun-dried bananas. You see where we're going now? People talking about agriculture, hard work, you don't want to be in the sun, you don't have no money in it. We need to rethink what we think about agriculture. Agriculture is not only about putting a seed in the ground, it's about what you do to just growing up. It's about what you do when the seed bears fruit and about what you do with the fruit afterwards. Anybody ever had bananas in their house and people just forget about it, they get overripe, brown spots, I want to eat it and thing, right? You're not in. Those are the same bananas that I would sun dry, bananas that people shunning and sell for $70 a pound. By adding water to it, nothing, just sunlight. I like the sun. The sun has been around from, the beginning. And, a lot of ancient peoples used to worship the sun. They thought, the sun was, all sorts of energy and, sun god and thing. All respect to that. But in addition to that, the sun has also been used to preserve food by a lot of ancient peoples. When they didn't have refrigerators, chemicals, preservatives, they used the sun. They used to dry things like meat, fruits, vegetables, so that in times of, when it was out of season, it could remain. A hand of bananas could last you about a week, a ripe one in your house or so. Pushing it 2 weeks. Guess how long some sun-dried bananas could last you? Huh? Years. I have some sun-dried bananas that are 4 years old, and they still taste good. Think about that. So a bunch of bananas I was selling for $3 a pound that would overripe and rotten in a week, we now change it into $70 a pound that has a shelf life of years. Pause raising up. This is what we need to be doing. We need to be rethinking how we see agriculture. We need to be thinking outside of the box. We need to be going in places people don't want to go. We need to be trying things that people don't want to try. You know what people say? What? Banana dry in the sun? Nah. That would never work. Now we have people from up the islands, people from different parts of the US, people from different parts of the UK asking for sun-dried bananas. The same bananas that we would put aside is the same bananas they're asking for. This is just to give you an idea. Let me go to the cocoa now. Trinidad has one of the most vibrant cocoa industries in the world. Now, it's almost in shambles. We have a resurgence now of people doing a lot of things with the cocoa that we should have been doing years ago. Things like making chocolate, things like making cocoa drinks, but even things, products that we're not accustomed up to. Products like cocoa nibs. I seen your face looking kind of confused. What are cocoa nibs? Right. I was thinking the same thing. So, in a store, while I was putting my sun-dried bananas on the shelf, stocking the shelf, I saw something next to it called cocoa nibs. And I'm like, what is cocoa nibs? So I looked at the back of the pack, and the pack said ingredients, organic raw cocoa. Full stop. I thought, okay. So I did some research online. You take out the shell from around it, and then you break it up into pieces. That's it. It's one of the most healthiest foods on earth. More healthy than goji berries, acai berries, all of these exotic superfoods that we imported into Trinidad. Cocoa is way above all of them. We have a tradition of just sucking the cocoa seed and spitting it out, or making cocoa tea with the, grating the stick. But before that and beyond that, the cocoa seed is highly, highly nutritious. When you roast it, and when you do other things with it, you lose some of the nutritional aspects, but still it has a lot of good in it. So coming back to the cocoa nibs I saw on the shelf now. A pack like this was, so I was looking, okay, ingredients, cocoa. Where it was grown, Peru. Where it was packed, now Peru is on the other side of South America, the Pacific side. Where it was packed, the US. So imagine this thing come from Peru, travel to the US, and then come into Trinidad. I thought, I couldn't find a word for that. I thought that was obscene, almost like an insult. Because for growing up, my grandmother used to work in a cocoa estate. And, everybody knows somebody who works in a cocoa estate, who have a cocoa estate nearby. And we just never did anything with it beyond making the cocoa to drink and exporting the beans. It got so bad that cocoa estates now, a lot of cocoa estates are abandoned. We can't find labor to work the cocoa estates. We can't find people who are interested. We can't find people to do it. But yet, in other countries, people are doing it. A lot of foreigners even coming to Trinidad, buying up the cocoa that us locals would work, the few who still are around who work in the cocoa estates, buying it up, taking it outside of Trinidad, making chocolate with it, and then selling us back the chocolate. You imagine in France and in Belgium where they don't grow cocoa trees, they don't grow sugar cane, the two ingredients you need for chocolate. And they're making chocolate, where we have sugar cane and cocoa beans. That is insulting. That is the thing that drove me to say, you know what? I'm going to try to make this thing called cocoa nibs, and I'm going to see if it could work. Yeah, I had some feelings like, if it didn't work out, they're going to laugh at me, or I could fail, lose some money. But hey, and I did fail. I mean, the first batch that I tried wasn't good. But I, tried to ask questions, tried to meet some cocoa farmers, people who are in the business a long time, do some research on the internet. And I tried, because I was already drying the bananas. So I tried drying the cocoa in the same way, and took, no fancy machinery, I got some cocoa beans, put it in the dryers that I had, which I built from recycled sliding doors, by the way. So we are talking about no fancy machinery yet. Those same doors you have there, I built a little dryer, put the bananas and the beans inside, dry them. Took a billiner, mash up the beans, throw it in front of a fan, the shell blow away, the cocoa nibs remain. Took it to the store now. I asked the store owner to taste the cocoa nibs to tell me what she thinks. When she tasted it, she was blown away. She said the taste compared to the foreign ones is just off the charts. Further research showed that they use low-grade cocoa beans to make cocoa nibs and high-grade cocoa beans to make chocolate. Trinidad has high-grade cocoa beans from the start. So you're getting a high-grade cocoa nibs here. So from this, which sells for, when you crack the fruit open, those cocoa beans sell for per kilogram about $15 to $20 worth. All right, so that's per pound, say $10 a pound. Guess how much the cocoa nibs sell for per pound? 100 and something? Higher. Right. Yes, so this is what I want you to do. To think, wow. Yes, I want to blow your mind here. Per pound, $150. When we talk about agriculture and business, you know, because some people doing this. But we who do have those, you know, boxes around our heads or who have a different perspective at looking at something, because, you know, somebody might keep looking at something here, but if you look at it from here, you could see a different perspective. So coming back now to the sun, everything that solar makes is dried in the sun. Our tagline is eat the sun, feed your soul. We specialize in using sunlight and sun energy to process agricultural products into things that are highly nutritious, things that are exciting, things that are good for your body, and things that are healthy for your entire well-being. We believe in using produce that is grown with natural fertilizers, using natural pest control methods, and processing that does not hurt the environment or does not hurt the people who we get our products or produce from. So for example, all of our farmers, they're on the same level with me. Nobody's below. Our customers, so you know, when we talk about farming being, people seeing it as a low class thing, we're on the same level. I treat them with the same respect that I would expect them to treat somebody else or myself. We're trying to rethink this whole agricultural thing and to encourage people to rethink as well too. And it's not about farmers, you know, dressing in a jacket or tie, which is good as well too. But it's about, because just last night I was wearing a jacket and a tie. But it's about farmers earning the respect, earning higher income. For years, farmers have been the ones on the low end, getting the smallest amount. We ought to change that. I say we, not Solar the company, but we, us who in this room here, we could change that. We could change farming into an agriculture, into an activity and an industry where people give you the same respect, you get the same amount of income or even more. A lot of farmers are millionaires in Trinidad, who could get the same amount of coverage worldwide, you know, through making some dried bananas and cocoa nibs. I mean, I didn't really expect to go anywhere. We won an award in Barbados in 2013, a Caribbean-wide Innovation Award. And then later on, we won an award in Guatemala. I didn't expect to go Guatemala. I went Guatemala to participate and to receive the award. And since then, you know, it's just kept sometimes stagnant, but also growing as well too, because we are still making mistakes. We are still trying to rethink things. We are still trying to, you know, make new products, still doing experiments. Still, we just don't want to stop. And I don't want you to stop either. There are places where you could get help. You have an idea, you don't know what to do. Same with me. I dried the bananas. I didn't know how to take it from something in my hand to something in a pack with a label on it. I asked around Facebook, hey, anybody know how to put something in a bag, where to get the packaging? Groups like YBTT, which is Youth Business Trinidad and Tobago, and groups like the ADB, groups like, there are some business incubators targeting young people. Groups like those exist to help people like us. There is help. I want to say it again, because even now, you know, I'm still, you know, seeking out help from people who know, people who've been in the industry longer than me, people who have, you know, farming experience that I don't have. I'm just in it about 2-3 years, but we have farmers who are in, you know, this thing 40 years, 50 years, who could tell you things like, that. So we do have to, so I don't have to make the same mistakes they did. I want to switch over to technology. Even though I'm using something like, which is ancient technology, sun drying, agriculture now is not how it was, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It is completely different. Now you could be in a different country with your smartphone, with an app operating your irrigation system. You could get a notification on your phone saying, yeah, saying that Trinidad is going to experience I don't know, sunny weather for the next 4 days, no rainfall. You could be like, okay, so you in, I don't know. It even has systems now where you could see exactly what nutrients your plants need from your phone. Irrigation systems like that. So it's not about, extreme physical labor, like what you mentioned before. It could be smart. It could be savvy. It could be sexy. It could be, technologically advanced. It is, not could be, it is. And we are the ones who need to tap into that. Some of my parents, like my father, to use the cell phone, he had to be like this, Um, I'm now trying to show him how to use YouTube and to look at videos and see different ways of doing things. You have your cell phone here. We have our cell phones with us. We're looking at our cell phones some hundreds of times a day. Our cell phones we spend hours on it. We could be using this time to change the way we do things. I want to challenge all here. It's not about, I want to challenge the way you think, the way we look forward, and I want you to challenge others too about how they look at agriculture. It's not about looking down at it, we're looking up at it. We want to give it respect. We want to make it attractive because it is. People are doing it outside of Trinidad. Even in Guyana, they're using these technologies. It's up to us to use it as well too. Yeah, so anything else I want to say? I want to thank the groups like YBTT because a lot of organizations out there say that that they give help or they give advice or they give financing. Financing is critical. YBTT is a group like that who not only gives you access to financing, but looks at your idea, tell you how you could improve it, put you in touch with people who have a similar business, who can give you advice free of charge, and who can guide you along the way so that you won't make mistakes, or you won't make as many mistakes, because you will make some. And groups like the ADB as well too offer financing for agricultural projects specifically. And depending on the project, you could have favorable terms and get advice as well too. So in closing, I didn't even use these slides, but I don't even know if I should. Yeah, right, so how you find it? Solar, just Facebook. You can Facebook search Solar, Eat the Sun, Feed Your Soul. You could also look at our website, which is under construction, at eatsolar.com. And Solar, we are on WhatsApp at 4935296. And you can just send us an email at eatsolar@live.com. And I could put it up afterwards or during the break. And we are here, so we are a group, one of the resources you could reach out to if you have an idea or a question or whatever. So in closing, I want to thank you for being a participating audience. And any questions you could ask soon afterwards or at the break. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We are running a bit late, but you will be able to interact with Michael as well as Mr. Ali. And when Mr. Ramnath is finished with his presentation, any questions you have for him, you could direct them. But we want to do a 10-minute break. It must be 10 minutes. We return for presentations right after that. Head table would be served. So,
Trinidad and Tobago is known for indigenous crops such as cassava, beetroot, dasheen, ginger, onion, sweet pepper, and yam, just to name a few. Using some root crops like cassava and dasheen, it can be used to make cereal. Cassava can also be used cassava flour, which is quite simple, where the starch from the crop through process is of washing and pulping. The pulp is squeezed to extract a starchy liquid, and once the water evaporates from the liquid, the starch flour remains, and we can use this to make bread and pastries, even cookies. In the as Mr. Paris was also saying, in the shelves of the supermarkets, we tend to buy, Mr. Ali as well, as we tend to buy the lettuce that is foreign. The presentation of our crops and produce is not compared, it cannot be compared to foreign, but we need to take up the decision of choosing our food locally and our produce locally. So in the shelves of the supermarkets, like for example, the cereal, we tend to buy like Kellogg's and those other foreign brands when we have local brands like Sunshine Snacks, and we don't buy that because foreign brand is everything and we buy that. So we need to pick up our duties ourselves and buy the local brands and choose wisely. Presenting local products that are more attractive and encourage customers to buy locally. Trinidad and Tobago has one of the best cocoa in the world, so that the government needs to invest more in the cocoa industry, because once our country can produce sufficient cocoa, then we can export to other countries, and we can even produce new chocolate-related products and sell them locally. Also, citrus fruits can be utilized to produce new flavored juices that are native to our country itself. Farmers need to plant a wider variety of crops, and this can reduce the import bill. Also, it must be ensured that the cost of production for certain products are kept at the lowest price possible. Mr. Ali spoke about the sweet peppers and the avocado and stuff like that. We need to encourage our families and everyone to choose locally. Thank you.
Thank you, Nalini. You know, I think I keep arguing the point. If adults and the powers that be listen more to our young voices, I think the country and the world would be in a better place. People think that I don't like it, but not that I don't like them, but let me not say anymore. Shadron laughed. Thank you, Nalini. Now, Faizabad Secondary has, I don't know if it's a surprise for us, but they have something big planned. So let me invite Faizabad team and his to do their thing.
Destructive fishing techniques, exploitation of the aquatic environment, and destruction of nursery habitat is crippling the fishing industry. So it's a simple case of supply and demand. Supply is low, prices will soar. And then too, I have my family to feed.
So what is that?
Well, that is how it is. If you all do not want it, what you all want me to do? Huh. Wait. So, tell me, I am competing with the urban and industrial land grabbers for the limited land resources. Not to mention those large-scale monocroppers who are degrading the soil and still getting land because, no. So I decided to plant on the hillside. Now I am being told that my slash and burn farming techniques is destroying habitat and is leading the soil erosion and flooding. Additionally, people stealing all my produce. After all I do, the little I have, I need to make a profit.
There's 500 for 3 tomatoes, $500 a pound for fish. That is ridiculous, man. To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Fortunately for us, the population of Trinidad and Tobago will decline in 2025. But with these unsustainable agricultural practices, we may not have enough resources to provide our own produce. So pollution, climate change, limited land availability, overuse of agrochemicals, slash and burn farming, lack of legislation and investment, lack of research and development, and inappropriate technology is slowly leading to lack of agricultural productivity. That is why our food import bill is 4 billion. Yes, people, 4 billion. So what do you all recommend? Look at the price of all your things now. I understand this.
Therefore, the underlying question arises, how will Trinidad and Tobago feed itself in 2025? And for this question, there can only be one response: sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture can an integrated system which allows us to meet our current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It requires an upgrade from traditional environmentally exploiting methods to futuristic techniques that will increase productivity without resource depletion. Sustainable agriculture, it requires a vision that will transform and reform existing agricultural communities so that the economic viability is attained. Sustainable agriculture, where equity related to acquisition and distribution of agricultural resources are promoted and maintained. So what is our way forward? Point 1. Let's rejuvenate Cedros, a former prime agricultural community that is now cemetery for dead coconut estates. Cedros can be brought to life with the implementation of brackish water aquaculture, where existing swampland are utilized for the cultivation of brackish water species. In addition, existing coconut estates can be rejuvenated with the inclusion of agro-processing units to allow the manufacture of coconut sugar, oil, and coconut honey, just to name a few. This will have a spiraling effect on job creation and of the Cedros area. Secondly, there must be the revision of land allocation process. We must ensure that the limited land resources is fairly distributed, but is also placed in the hand of individuals who are motivated to build and revive the agricultural sector. This calls for a review of existing laws and policies related to land acquisition, distribution, use, and development. The interjection of new, appropriate, and accessible technology. Technology has been the driving factor behind the development of the agriculture sector in the past and must be the driving factor in the future. Incentives for young persons. The government must initiate research and development in the agricultural sector and must allocate the necessary funding.
The government can provide scholarships for young individuals to pursue agricultural-related courses and can subsidize loans for agri-related businesses. This can help to boost the development of agricultural-based industries, providing both goods and services, leading to an overall increase in productivity. Revamping of CPEP and URP programs so that they can supply the labor to government-controlled farms, which would offer a diverse range of produce grown with greenhouse and grow box systems. Retraining of ex-colony workers so they obtain the technological knowledge in sustainable farming practices. Development of our agri-processing industry. Why don't we manufacture our own butter? What about ideas like smoked tilapia, five-finger jams, and pomerac toppings? This would help to increase our marketability on a global scale and satisfy our local needs. So there are just a few examples of what can be done and how, as a nation, we can improve the state of our agricultural sector so that we become a sustainable, autotrophic, first-class agri-economy in 2025.
Thank you, Faisabad. All I would say is the judges will have a hard time. And at this point, let me introduce the judges. Ms. Nandini Maharaj, who is the manager of the Shogunas branch of the AD. Michael Paris, who you heard from earlier, entrepreneur. Mr. Frank Ali. Mr. Shedron Collins, General Manager YBTT, who is your chief judge. So he will comment on each presentation when he makes the announcements. Let's have a round of applause, please. Wonderful work, wonderful work. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Chief Executive Officer of the Agricultural Development Bank, who I said, was here from very early this morning, stayed on, very committed, Mr. Shivan Ramnath, who will address you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, and a pleasant good morning to all. I think you all deserve to give yourself a second round of applause. This morning, when Madam Chairperson would have asked if I was able to stay on, I was tempted to say I can't because of my schedule. But let me say that I am indeed proud and happy to say that I did. For it helped me to understand and to remember a key word in the name of the institution of which I am at this point in time I'm charged with responsibility to head, the Agricultural Development Bank. For this and you guys are what it is all about, development. I would also ask that you give Mr. Paris and Mr. Ali a round of applause for the platform that they had set. Before I go into some details, some of which I will be touching on because the speakers before me and even you yourselves would have touched on, I want to just make sure that you all are clear. How many of you here know what is the function of the Agricultural Development Bank? Put up your hands. So I'll just take 30 seconds to tell you. The Agricultural Development Bank is a state agency under the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. The Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries is charged with the responsibility of developing policies and the direction for the agricultural sector. With the current state of the economy, there's a lot of talk about diversification of the economy, and agriculture has been identified as a key area for that. As the financing arm, we are there to help farmers in terms of obtaining affordable financing for their projects. So we are here to help, and we are here to develop. Earlier on, you would have heard a statistic that the majority of farmers are over a certain age and more to the older age group. Anyone here could tell me what is the age group in agriculture? Just give me an idea. Make a guess. When you hear youth, what age group you think of? 18? Right. So in agriculture, a youth is defined as the age group between 18 to 35. So it means there's a large scope in between there by which people have the opportunity to grow and develop. Have any of you changed your perception of agriculture since you have been here? There was one who said that agriculture was seen as low. Do you still see it that way? So you see some potential. Good. There was one who said that they did not see the opportunity for jobs. You still share that view? Good. And there's one who said he just want to stay out of the... You still here? Do you still see it as a challenge to be in the sun? Or having to spend a lot of time in the sun? Right, it's a challenge. But as Mr. Paris would have pointed out, there are some benefits to be gained from that. So the hard work does pay off. And the sacrifices at this stage does lead to something beneficial. Now, traditionally, when we look at a farmer, what we have perceived in our mind is someone out in the field, working in the hot sun, as you pointed out, with a tall top boots, sweating. Do you all see a farmer as a businessman? How many of you all see a farmer as a businessman? Put up your hands. How many of you don't see a farmer as a businessman? Why is a farmer considered a businessman? Because at the first stage, in terms of his plantation, he produces. But what is the second thing he does with what he produces? He sells. So we at the ADB, in recent times, have been using the term Agri entrepreneur instead of farmer. Because we want to paint the image of a farmer as a businessman, as someone who looks along the value chain to the added value and benefits that could be derived. One school pointed out that there are agri students and agribusiness students. That's two separate areas. It's one. What do we understand for those in the agri field or the agribusiness field of the value chain? Anybody? Is there anything we could do after a farmer plants his crops? What was the next phase? Besides selling. Could we use that for something? Jams, jellies, juices. So you could be a processor. Good. How do we get that produce from the fields to the market? How do we get whatever we produce into the supermarkets? We need transport. So there are jobs in the transportation or more technically, the distribution field? Fine. Mr. Paris sort of made a great example of touching along the value chain in terms of what can be done. And that is what we speak of when we mention entrepreneur. The potential to start small but end up great. He has also pointed out that this is something that he has done through an idea. But he has manifested that idea into a bit of innovation. And that innovation, using bananas, that basically we would leave home to rot and spoil, into something that, how much he said he was making for a pound of cocoa nibbits? No, the nibbits. $150 a pound. Compared to if you if you have cocoa and you sell it, you go basically give you $20 a kilo. And a pound of bananas in the market is how much? $6. And how much is he selling the dried bananas for? So you think that encouraging any of you all to go into that business area? Does that sound lucrative? Is that something that, look, if I were to go into this and I were to try and practice this, I could achieve my lifelong goals? When we look at food sustainability, the presentations that each of you all would have made how do we feed Trinidad and Tobago in the year 2025, what is required? Ideas, innovation, implementation. In implementation, however, we must recognize that we cannot do everything on our own. This is why under the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, you have organizations like the ADB who will help with the financing. You have NAMDEVCO who will help with your marketing. If you were to go into the field of fish, you have organizations like SIDC who could provide you with technical advice and even some marketing in regards to that. So the potential for agriculture is great. We would have touched upon the value chain and the different job opportunities that you have. But it starts with you. It starts with you as an individual recognizing that there is potential and opportunity. Think of the guy who developed Facebook. He is a multi-millionaire. Steve Jobs, when he developed Apple. Apple is seen as one of the higher-end, best pieces of technology. They lead the field in some areas. And even Google, the way we communicate, well, at least when I was small compared to how you guys communicate, and some of you almost have better phones than me right now in your pockets. The thing is, it started with innovation. It started with an idea. I mean, it started with someone taking that idea and running with it and being brave enough to pursue it. One thing you must never be afraid of is failure. The only thing failure should do is make you stronger. It's easy to say, and the distractors around you to tell you, well, look, you have failed, or your friends to laugh, or make you feel like you can't do it. The only reason you can't do something is because you choose not to. Always be, if there's a problem, a solution exists. Because I go by the mandate that God didn't put any problem in front of us if he didn't put a solution. But you must be willing to think, and you must be willing to apply the skills and talents and attributes that he gave to you to execute that. That also applies to agriculture. And I even want to take it a bit further to come to some specific levels of jobs regards to agriculture. It may be related or not directly related. About agriculture, yes, the first thing you think is it's about farming. But yes, there are people who come out with relevant degrees and go into farming and become businessmen. You could go into the field of teaching. And if I look at the ADB, and I look at our organizational structure, we have a corporate communications who's here with us today. We have corporate manager, finance, business development, credit, and I myself as the CEO. So that there are different fields that you could branch into. Agriculture is a base. It's a base that is to do endless. In the University of the West Indies, the agricultural program, as it was known 10 to 15 years back, is now changed to agribusiness. There's a reason it is called agribusiness, because what the country needs is the next phase. Not only primary production, the side of the road we're trying to hustle in the market, but we're looking for innovation. What do you do? How do we feed ourselves? How do we create what one team put together as sustainable agriculture? And then how do we attract you guys to stay in it? Because like my friend here, you don't want to go out and he had son, a vision. And that is a dream. And how could you use that to propel yourself to achieve what you want to achieve? It's about thinking and finding a solution. So agriculture is something that could be very dynamic. It could be very interesting. And it has its, but like nothing else, it comes with hard work and dedication. And the support of the people around and the agencies around is needed. These agencies do exist. Organizations such as Youth Business, TNT. You have the live example of Mr. Paris and Mr. And the good thing about it is these institutions are willing to help and to speak to you all at every opportunity. I encourage you all to tap into this type of knowledge and to this offering. to determine when you walk out of here, yes, I've come from Faizabad, I've sat down in the auditorium, the sun is hot outside, but take one thing back and ask yourself, what could be the benefit of that session today? What do I want to be when it comes time for me to make that choice in terms of choosing a career? How successful in life do I want to be? And how am I going to make that difference to Trinidad and Tobago? The only person who could answer that question is yourself. And the fire, the dream, and the drive has to come from within, with the knowledge that the support is around. So I'm indeed proud to stay here this morning. The presentations were excellent. The drive is there. And it is encouraging for me to see that the development of the sector definitely has a chance. In closing, I would just like to say thank you to you all. Have a safe trip back home. And thanks for attending the session this morning.
Let's give Mr. Ramnath another round of applause. You know, Mr. Ramnath was skinning every word that he's saying, forgetting that the air conditioner is not working, and I'm sure you all did too. There are some takeaways from Mr. Ramnath's address that you all need to take with you. One thing is the issue of failure. Many of you are afraid to fail. Understand, failure is part of success. What must happen though, you need to learn the lessons from that situation, not to repeat, and move forward. The other thing he spoke about is that, like any other sector, agriculture is hard work. You must be committed. I mean, you want the dollars and cents, but you have to work hard, you have to be committed, you have to be passionate, not to be distracted. So, Mr. Ramnath, again, thank you very much for sharing those very useful insights. We change things up a bit now. We have an interactive workshop with Gerard Thomas, our very faithful entrepreneurial partner. Gerard is the entrepreneur, and he's an entrepreneur and Chief Executive Officer of Launch Rocket. And he's going to do a workshop with you, understanding the mix, agriculture, technology, and entrepreneurship. And you all will not be fanning when Gerard comes because you'll be very, very engaged, trust me. Help me welcome Gerard. Okay, Chief Judge is saying that he wants to announce while Gerard is setting up. So, and I'm sure you all want to hear. So let me invite Chetron.
Just switching it up a little bit, so we'll have each of the judges. Let's kind of give a little comments.
Let me invite Miss Maharaj. As a matter of fact, let me invite all the judges on stage. So, yes. While Gerard is setting up. Okay. So, let me pass it to Mr. Maharaj.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Nandini Maharaj. I'm the branch manager acting of the central branch of the ADB. What I would like to say in terms of the presentations, excellent from all schools. It is very good to see a lot of girls in the audience. What I would like to say is that I want you all to practice and to actually do these projects because you are the future. As our chairperson said, in 2021 you will be the adults who have to carry on this. So that's what I would like to say to you all. Please think of agriculture as a business, and I would really like to see the youths coming from the bank. As we said, we have a very aging farming population, and I would really like to see the young people involved in agriculture.
Well, I've been a full-time farmer, I mean, not knowing what to expect. Telling me this morning I would have to judge. I was blown away by all the presentations. Obviously, you all put a lot of effort and time into it. You all did a lot of research, all of you. It was well done. I am totally pleased of what I've heard. A couple of these schools actually, all of you as a matter of fact, very much on point with a lot of what we asked you to do. And I even was amazed at some of the recommendations. You all come across as experienced farmers, people in the sector, people who know what's going on in agriculture. So for me, totally pleased with all the presentations, whether it was the presentations that were involving many or the presentation involving the one young lady. I am totally pleased with everything that I saw here today. Wonderful. You also give yourselves a round of applause. Wonderful.
Hello again. The ideas coming out of the group presentations and from the school presentations really were on point. It is interesting, these are the ideas, that were discussed and presented by you, that are discussed by the farmers, the bank managers, and, or at least, and in the parliament as well too. The discussion that you all give really could match up in any sphere, from the banks to the schools to the farms themselves and even to the parliament as well too. A comment to the ASJA presentation. A wonderful thing about yours was that it really had an all-inclusive approach. Like an all hands on deck, so not really leaving up the responsibility to any one group, but involving really the society, all members in all aspects, to really solve the problem and not just have the problem addressed by one person. To the Capichima person, congrats for coming up by yourself. Job well done. And we could see that even though you had a prepared speech, you made a great effort to include some of the ideas that were discussed by myself, Mr. Ali, and Shadron. So great on you on, really taking all those points and putting it into your presentation. To the Faizabad group, good teamwork. You all really performed as a unit. And your presentation was really cohesive and well put across. Congrats to everybody.
All right. Y'all like to make life difficult for me, eh? All right, so I'll go in order of presentation. So ASJA College, what stood out for me is that you kind of took a holistic view, ASJA, right? Right, a holistic view of really what agriculture is about. All hands on deck. What the government needs to get involved in, the farmers need to get involved in, even the man on the street needs to get involved in. I think that is really what stood out for us there. Karipachima. No, who went off? Yeah, Karipachima. Down here? All right. What stood out? Well, I have a love for the 17 UN goals. Right? So I think it's supposed to be implemented in everything that we do when we're developing budget policies, anything that we do for Trinidad and Tobago. So it really stood out for me that they use that as well. Faizabad. Right. Faizabad, what stood out for me is and what I think stood out for all the judges as well, would have been the use of Trinidad live examples, using CPEP, using Caroni and these things. I think that's really what stood out for us. So without further ado, can I get a drum roll? You have laps. If you want to have laps, you have a drum. Can I get a drum roll? Okay, let's do it on 3. Can I get a drum roll? 1, 2, 3. And the winner is... I have to hold for a little moment. Faizabad. All right. All right, so are we doing the presentations now or?
who is the manager of new business and product development at the ADB, to present the Faizabad team with their prize. Can we have the team on stage, please? Including their teacher. Please, yes, 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 yes.
All right, we just wanted to present you all. Now, everybody's going to go away with something, but we are honoring the most outstanding one out of the three. All right, they were all excellent, but this one was the most outstanding. We are giving you all exotic fruit trees to plant in your schools. So you will always see it, remember it. When you go back to your alma mater, you look for it and you spread the word. Because we also have a situation in Trinidad where we're cutting down too many trees. All right, so you can't even find the local exotic fruits. So that's why we decided to give you all exotic fruit trees to plant in your schools and nurture. Okay, so to Faizabad, congratulations. We're giving you a carambola, which is also called a five-finger tree. All right, and if you need assistance in terms of how to nurture it and stuff, we will hook you up with the Ministry of Agriculture representatives for your particular area. All right, all the best. The other two schools, you can collect it afterwards. We're giving you 2 sugar apple trees. All right? So you'll treasure those.
How's everyone doing? Oh yeah. How's everyone doing? Come on, y'all. Who just won? What school won just now? So why y'all so quiet? How are y'all doing? Hot. Yes. All right, cool. So we're gonna try to make this cool and fun and exciting for you guys. My name is Jared. I'm from an organization called Launch Rocket, and our organization help entrepreneurs start businesses. So we do a bunch of events, cool events, an event called Startup Weekend where we help anybody with an idea, any business idea. You come from Friday, and on Sunday you kind of turn that idea into a business. So basically turn an idea into a business from one weekend. And it's fun, it's activities, not like a course, but it's all about developing ideas, meeting entrepreneurs, connecting with each other. And my objective today is to talk to you about understanding the mix between agriculture, technology, and entrepreneurship. So we heard some really good presentations just now. I think one of the schools spoke about the sustainable development goals, and you may see some of the pictures there. This is going to be interactive. We're going to have a lot of questions. I know it's hot. We're going to try to speed it up. And we're going to show you all a demo of some really cool stuff. So it's going to be fun. So, who's excited about agriculture here? That's the first thing. Who's excited? Excited, okay? Let me just raise your hands high. Those who are excited. And if you're not excited, it's okay. But if you're excited, it's extremely high. High. This is not a raise hand. High is like this. All right. So we have a few people. All right. So my objective now is to get everybody else who's not excited, extremely excited about agriculture by the time we leave. I'm telling you. Like, I want to use this word. I think agriculture is this amazing, really cool, kind of sexy. It's so ripe for innovation. And I'm telling you, by the time you're done here, you'll see some really cool, amazing things. First question is this. who would like to partake in any of these as their career in the future? Who would like to have maybe the yellow craft in the next 20 years? Nobody? I have one, two people. All right. who would think they would like to live on the picture to the right? They would like to live in there as their penthouse. Everybody raise your hands. If you're raising your hands, hold on. First rule. We're going to try raising hands. I know it's hot, but if you're raising your hands, you have to raise your hands high. All right? So who wants to live in the penthouse on the right-hand side? All right, so you have a group of people. And who thinks the bottom part is interesting? Instead of having people on the farm actually to pick crops. Thank you very much. Whew. Instead of having people on the farm trying to pick crops, you will have robots actually doing it. Who thinks that's exciting and different? The robots, yeah? You really think so? We ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to show you some really cool stuff. All right, but so I'll show you a picture or an image we saw, and you may or may not be able to see the text. It's a little hard, but this is what the future of farming could be. So let's look at the pictures. Everybody sees the drones? Yeah, so they want to be able to use drones in the future. In the top right corner, they have fleet of Agri bots, robots that are on the field that are doing different things. Then we have the smart tractors. So these smart tractors, they have GPS controlled steering. So it's nobody's in the tractor is being managed all robotically. Then we have texting cows. You all think that's funny? That's funny, please. Let me know if you think it's funny. Let me know if you think it's real. Who thinks it's not real? So those who don't raise their hand believe texting cows is real. So you guys believe texting cows is real? Yeah? You believe it's real? All right. You think it's fake? The cows texting? I don't know if it's so, but the cows texting. Right, so you're looking at texting cows. And then we have farming data. Because you need to be able to manage all this data. You need to be able to manage all this information. And this is the future of agriculture. But agriculture is just bigger than on the farm. Right? That's one important thing I want you to remember. Agriculture is definitely bigger than just on the farm. But before we dive into it, one is believe is we have to just understand the basics in terms of words. We talk about agriculture, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about technology. But what does it really mean? Right? So, this is the definition of technology, right, from Google, using Google to find the definition of technology, and the application of scientific knowledge for purposes, blah, 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 blah. It's fine. The bottom is just a picture of something that's very archaic. It's called a dictionary. Anybody knows what a dictionary is? Yeah, very good. I thought all you knew what Google was. All right. But I think this definition of technology is just a little complex. It could be much simpler. Anybody could give me a definition of technology. It's really simple. What is tech, or how would they define technology? And there are prizes to be won, by the way. So how would somebody in the crowd define technology? Who wants to go? Nobody wants to win a prize? So modern machinery to make everyday life easier. All right, cool. A better and a closer definition. Definitely give this gentleman a nice prize and give him we're getting prizes out. Definitely be serious. So here's your first prize. All right. So my definition. You give him a round of applause. So my definition of technology is really it's a tool, and it's very similar to what they said. Machinery. It's a tool used to be able to read information, analyze information, communicate information. But most importantly, it's a tool to be able to produce results at the speed that you want to be able to do it. All right? Then there's the definition of an entrepreneur. All right? And a person who sets up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. Who does not want to make money? I hear a voice. Who does not want to make money? Okay, good. All right. So we all have entrepreneurs here, or people who have the potential to be entrepreneurs, which is good. And then we have agriculture, right? So you all know about agriculture. We don't have to go into the details. Great. We're going to the fun stuff just now. So, why I spoke just now about agriculture is just not only on the farm. We saw the tools with the drones. We saw that stuff. It goes more. So this is a picture I saw of how a company was making chocolate in Australia. And this kind of looks at the whole entire agriculture where you have the crop, you have cocoa growing, and then you pick the cocoa and then you carry it into raw materials, you package it, you ship it, then you send it to a location and they do testing, etc. and it goes until it reaches a bar. And I think this is the process. And the interesting thing is, when people think of agriculture, first, most of the times they think of steps 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. 5 and 6 a little bit. But they don't see that there's this full value chain, this full thing that Mr. Ramnath mentioned earlier about being able to look at different parts of the agriculture industry. So in reality, you could be getting into agriculture and just only be helping with the distribution side of being able to sell chocolate. So to think as we go through this process, because we have a little quiz at the end and we'll have to know how much time we have left. When you're thinking of technology or you're thinking of agriculture, agriculture does not only stop at the farm or what products come out from there, but there are so many things that can be applied within that process or within that value chain. It's being able to apply technology to the agriculture. So the question, next question is, out of these 13 parts, where can you apply technology and entrepreneurship? Who wants to give that a shot? Out of the 13 parts, where can you apply technology and entrepreneurship? Anybody? Anybody on this side? Nobody knows where they can apply technology and entrepreneurship? Where? Sorry? From stage 1? It said from, so it means going to. Excellent. So please give another prize. Seems like this school just winning. All this school only take classes, but right? So that's the good thing. You could apply technology and entrepreneurship almost at any stage. Literally at any stage you could apply technology and entrepreneurship. And that's important to remember as we go forward. So what I'm going to do now is try to show you a quick video. All right. And the video is here. And just show you a quick video on the future of farming.
Man's most basic need. Throughout the ages, men have strived to produce more and better food for growing populations, better tools, improved techniques, and technological advances. However, all this progress has had one common element that has not changed: man. Man has always been at the center of food production and has now become the limiting factor. For 10,000 years, the primary focus of technology has always been increasing the productivity and safety of the operator. But these incremental improvements will soon be outpaced by the exponential population increase that we are experiencing. Sometime in the near future, the population will exceed our ability to provide food for all of Earth's inhabitants. What we've done on a scale of transition from hunting and gathering to an agrarian society. A complete reboot that will change our conception of what agriculture is. Inspired by nature, utilizing swarm and gaming theory, they will plant, tend, and harvest, executing each agricultural task and reducing the need for herbicide tillers, planters, and harvesters. This new system will be developed in 4 phases. Phase 1, planter. Phase 2, tender. Phase 3, harvester. Phase 4, integration of the planting, tending, and harvesting into one autonomous that can operate all season long, performing any task as necessary. Prospero is a working prototype of Phase 1, a swarm of autonomous microplanters. Operating as one organism to plant a field, they determine where and how to plant each seed, productivity of each acre, farming inch by inch. First, they check the ground below to see if the seed has already been planted and whether proper seed spacing has been achieved. If not, they will plant a seed at the optimal depth. Then they mark the seed's location and apply any necessary fertilizers, herbicides, or insecticides. Communicates wirelessly with the rest of the swarm to optimize the swarm's planting efficiency, letting nearby robots know if it needs help planting in that area. Prospero does all this now.
Y'all thought that was cool? Oh, y'all sound so tired, but I know it's the heat, but come on. Did you find that was cool? Yes? No? Yeah? You want one of those in your yard? I said no. All right, so there's a lot of cool technology out there. There's a lot of cool technology out there, and we're gonna run through so many technologies because sometimes we think about agriculture, we think of the farm, and we don't realize, hey, there's a lot of things out there, and people are using technology to become the entrepreneurs that they want to be and to help the farming industry. So, one sec. All right. So the next slide, we go on. So this is a company called Silent Herdsman, and they have collars for cows. Anybody could tell me what the collars could be doing? Could get a prize. Texting? Who said texting? Well, it's not texting, but close enough. Who said texting? Who said texting? Yeah, one prize. So it's very close to being texting. What these collars are doing, before we looked at what the future of farming could be, right? And we saw texting cows. So what this does is the collars help in the heat of the cows, because the heat of the cows relate to fertility and to whether or not they have a disease. And what they've realized is that being able to measure the heat of the cows constantly, you're able to know when a cow is fertile and be able to ensure that you have production of milk continuously compared to just checking and waiting and not knowing when the cow is fertile. So this is one cool example of using technology, and we have actually seen now the technology, when they put this on, it has to send messages wirelessly. So it's almost like texting cows. Close enough. All right, then we have drone deployment. So that was one of the examples we saw before. So why would you want a drone to be deployed over your farm? And I hear, you gotta talk loud. Then it just gets quiet. Sorry? Water. So what would the drone do? Water the plants? Okay, that's an option. Yeah, that's an option. All right, great. Because the water part is a little hard because the drone's a little smaller. Right? But you'll still get a prize, don't worry. Right? But yes, definitely, to be able to give you an aerial view, because if you have a large farm, if you have a large farm, you don't want to be walking through your farm and having people walking through your farm all the time. Right? You want to be able to see this from an aerial view and be able to make decisions and know, okay, crops are growing here, you might have some pesticides problem here. You want to be able to look at that aerial view and make those decisions faster compared to just being on the ground. Then we have Farm Logs. This is another company, and these are companies, by the way, that are existing today, right, and making millions of dollars. And then we have Farm Logs. And why would you need to capture data? Why would you want to capture data and record all this data about your farm? I have a side. Who said monitoring? All right, we have one person. You're again, Lex, please, seriously. All right, we have who said monitoring? Another prize for you. All right, so and that's the reason you want to be able to monitor this data, capture all this data, and be able to say, okay, hey, you know what? I'm seeing the plants in this section; they're growing better. Have this data, so you could see patterns and see trends that you may not have identified before. Isn't it strange that? And I don't know when this diagram was. I was trying to find the date of when this diagram was created, and I saw an article referencing it from 2015. I'm assuming it was 2013 article, drew this infograph, this design. But it's just so cool that they're talking about the future of farming, and 3 things that they said about the future is already here today. So we have the drones, we have the texting cows, and we have the farming data. So it shows that there's so much potential there in terms of mixing technology with agriculture. So I'll show you some more agriculture tools, some more companies that are doing some really cool stuff. So there's freight farms. Anybody could tell me what they think this is? A container, yeah, I know it's a container, but what does the container do? Transport, planting crops. All right, planting crops it is. You want to say planting crops? You're going to talk louder, I'm telling you, you're getting a lot of licks. All right, so it's definitely about planting crops. So, but why? Why would you want to plant crops in a container? You all have a chance now. Somebody answer quick. For what? And I hear you. All right, so close enough, so you can definitely get a prize. You get a prize to do it. right? But it's part of preventing diseases and insects, but it's really about preventing it from nature. It's about preventing it from the environment, preventing the natural. Um, you look at the environment. There are days, there are seasons. But imagine if you could plant crops 365 days a year, grow crops without worrying about seasonality, and the crops now being able to grow in this controlled environment, control the weather and the conditions of how this crop grows. And these are companies that are making millions of dollars. And what's amazing with this freight farm company, they only have two major products really now growing in this container, which is lettuce and different types of herbs. They give you the seeds, they give you, of course, the shipping container, and they have a mobile app now to monitor what's going on inside the container and trying to address and see, okay, crops are growing, etc. We talk about a lot of these technologies, but have you guys ever seen any of these in real life? Nothing? Have you seen any type of technology that allows you to monitor the soil data to your phone and anything like that? Anybody? Anybody? No? Well, guess what? Today's your lucky day. Because we're going to show you. I have my friend here, Arnold, who's on the stage with me. Arnold, say hi.
Hi.
And Arnold has with him here a device, a plant. And I want to show them.
Yeah. So, Jared talked a lot about all of these companies are doing things like monitoring and, collecting data. And this is actually a unit. And I actually put this together and wrote the software for it, which basically and temperature and humidity data and logs it onto the unit itself. It has a battery pack, LCD to show you the information, and a solar panel so that it could work outside without having to work on external power. And you could actually go online and be able to see the information that it collects. So on a tablet, mobile phone, anything, you could get the information there. The other part of it too is that it has the ability to relay information and control things like pumps. So for example, I could set it so that if the moisture level reaches a certain level, it can automatically pump water to the plants. And this is stuff that I have now, and it's relatively easy to do. All of it is off-the-shelf stuff. You could go on Amazon and buy this, buy the equipment, and the programming. All the software is free online. So and the software for this I actually published online for free, so anybody could go and get it. The plant has.
And get the plant by the way, but the plant has a Twitter account.
Yeah, the plant has its own Twitter account. So if there's actually a Twitter account that will show you the information for the plant, the moisture level and the temperature and that type of thing, and every once in a while, I think every hour it tweets. So I don't actually have to do anything. It's automated.
So think about this for a second. We showed a bunch of companies that are doing some really cool stuff in technology, and they showed them, being able to control their plants and growing of their forestry, whatever, the agriculture, monitor it. And now we have a live demo right here. And the good thing about it is that Arnold didn't build this in the States, he built this right here. Ordering a few parts, connecting it together, and it shows the potential you have in being able to build things locally. Even though we see some really cool products out there, but you can build some of these cool products here locally and things with it. So if any of you guys are really serious about agriculture and you want to be able to apply technology, you have a gentleman here by the name of Anil who will be able to give you guidance and assistance in being able to tell you how to do that. So I know time is running out of us, so we're going to wrap up a little quickly. Another tech company that's going on is a company called Full Harvest. Two apples, like which one is better? Which one has a spot? The left one? Yeah? So which one you would take? The right one, right? All right. So, and I think Michael, I didn't hear the first part, but I think somebody spoke about that earlier in terms of being able to take fruits and vegetables that look that persistent than the others and not utilizing it. So Full Harvest now allows companies that waste food products that they don't want, but it's still good to be able to use it in different places. So at the end of the day, you don't have wastage of good food. All right. Another product that we have, I want to show you all a video. Again, it's going to be called FarmBot. And this one is really amazing. So try to do this one quickly. You all understand what happened there just now? Basically, you buy the equipment or get the equipment, and you control your entire farm all from your computer or from your phone. You could grow multiple crops. They do everything. They water it for you. They kill the weeds. They take care of it. They feed it. They do everything for you. Come back in about 3 weeks, a month, maybe 2 months, and then you have your fruits or your vegetables growing, and you could mix and do different plants. This is the new technology. Wait, why is it showing so small? Great. Yeah, so this is the new technology in terms of being able to plant. No longer, somebody had a problem today earlier with being in the sun. What was the problem? What the problem in the sun? Now you don't have to be in the sun. You're doing everything from your mobile device and being able to grow that. Do you guys think this is cool? Yeah? So, one of the things, and this is my little 2 cents in terms of being able to pitch to the ADB and asking and saying, one of the great things is all the code. Now you could buy it. You could buy it for, I think it's about $3,000. And of course, if you're shipping it here, it's going to cost a lot more. Right? But the cool thing about it is the technology to do this called open source. Does not know anybody who does not know what open source is? Everybody knows open source? So open source is when they make all the code and the technology available. So basically anybody could see it and build it, and it's not hidden, it's open to the public. All right? So all this technology is available, and it'll be really cool to be able to get, the students to be able to use and see how technology can be applied to farming and get companies involved. And the last thing, which is really interesting, is a product called Leaf. All right, so Leaf now allows you to create your own. This is a Leaf box here. It's like a mini, and it allows you to grow products inside your house. So you put it in, they give you all the things you need, the seeds, the chemicals, they give you everything, you close it, and then it grows. And then after you open it back up, and you are ready. Now you can monitor it from your phone to make sure it's still growing healthy and everything, all the levels are right. Every advanced technology that you're able now to plant anything, and all this is agriculture based. And it's really, really powerful. And now I want to definitely, we talked about a lot of international companies, but we have a lot of local companies that are doing some amazing, called market movers. Anybody heard about market movers? No? So market movers allows you to deliver food to your homes. So you don't have to, it's like buying products online. So you go online, you purchase whatever vegetables or fruits you want, and they ship it to you. All right? And you're getting quality vegetables and fruits because they have their partner farmers. And today, market movers has been around for the last 6 years. About 6 years, and they are doing that locally. And these are some people who are doing some really cool things. Nourish TT is another company. They are looking at preventing wastage of food. So all the food has been wasted at the supermarkets. That is still good, but the markets, and they believe that the banana might look good, but it's still edible and it's still being able to use. they take those foods and be able to apply it and give it to the poor. So I wanted to go into some more, so a little workshop with you, but I know time, we just got the indicator that time is running out. So, but I just want to say that there are a lot of opportunities in agriculture. Look at the technologies, look at the problems that you're seeing and try to be able to identify them. Anybody a little more interested in agriculture? Nah, you just want to get out, right? But it would be really great to do the quick test because we were trying to.
We just have 2 presentations for the guest speakers, to do for the guest speakers, Frank Ali and Michael Harris, if you could come. And I would like to invite Don Daniel, Corporate Communications Manager at the ADB, to. So Frank Ali and Mr. Michael Paris. Thank you. I also wanted to thank our friends from the Unit Trust Corporation. The Unit Trust Corporation is one of our gold sponsors for Global Entrepreneurship Week, and the prizes that this presentation is courtesy the Unit Trust. So if we could give Unit Trust Corporation a round of applause. And teachers, I asked you to check with the Unit Trust in terms of some information that you could share with the parents of your students, which would be really better. Thank you. Let me thank all our presenters, our service providers, Gerald Thomas, Akila Allen, Clydine McDonald, our photographer, Zara Gibbons, our videographer, and our partner Adrian, Don Daniel, Corporate Communications Manager of the ADB, Manager New Business and Product Development at the ADB, Mr. Shivan Ramnath, CEO, Shedron Collins, GM, YBTT, Martin Rosales, our decorator, our sound system provider, who is actually, let me just say that as our videographer, as well as Keegan Lewis, who is providing the sound system. They are 2 of YBTT entrepreneurs. So they had a journey. You've seen them there, but they had a journey, and they will be able to tell their stories in terms of success and the challenges that they face. So thank you again for being part of this again, to teachers and students for the issue with regards to no air condition that broke down yesterday evening late, and we just have to continue. But did you all enjoy today? Yes. Good, good. So we keep in touch. Teachers from the teacher from as well as Karabichai, please check with Miss Dixon. She has a token for you. And on the way out, check in the pantry. We have some snack boxes there for you all. Take 1 each. And safe journey back to school. You're not going back to school, right? You don't want to go back. You understand? Now, if it had air conditioning, yeah, but next time.